Samantha asks, how do your right hooks differ for a free service versus a paid one?
When you're throwing the right hook that's free, I get excited because there's less friction and it feels like I'm gonna really be able to land that right hook. The problem is, there's a really funny thing about free. Free creates a scenario where people value it for what it's been put out. It's really interesting. I think that a lot of people who watch this show value it quite a bit. I think that the 10% left, if I started charging $4 an episode or $2 an episode, actually, you know what? That's gonna be the question of the day. And I know this is a tough question, and by the way, I will not be charging for this, so don't worry, don't hedge and say zero. I don't have any plans on it. But if I was, what would you pay to watch an episode of the Ask Gary Vee show? And yeah, that's the real question. And clearly, I expect most of the comments to be zero or no, because I respect that there's so much content out there, but I do believe that my content is better than a substantial amount of content out there in the world, especially when it talks about new platforms, business, running businesses, leadership, entrepreneurship, startup tech culture. So I do think that we'll see a surprising number, and I'm sure you're probably getting answers right now in Meerkat, so Stefan, feel free to not shout it out, because I want to be surprised. But I do think that it's really funny to me to think about the 10% of you that I would expect to pay for it, that if you were paying $4 for it, you'd actually value the show more. It's really quite interesting psychology. So how do I act differently? One, when I throw right hooks, for example, when I tweet out later today that episode 80 is up, I expect to land more than saying episode 80 is up, here, pay me in $3 Snap Cash if you want to watch it. I have a little less angst of the conversion because I know that there's no friction financially, which is one of the, besides time, finance is the friction. And so I think it's got a totally different cadence, different expectation, different pressure hold. I think it's easier.